Welcome back to Aether Eternius, Source Side of the Foundry. It's been a while. We had some problems with physical and mental health, and we took some time to make sure that was all sorted out because it is very important that you take care of those needs. Your health is more important than tabletop gaming. Just saying. Where we left off last time, you guys finally had a chance to breathe. You pretty much had a chance to relax, de-stress, though it didn't help much for some people, and kind of explored the night market of the Plane of Wind. You had some nice character building moments and some very oh shit moments as you realize that you are now in the crosshairs of the Matter Lord Matter Rocked because he is now sending spies after you. And right now, you're currently in an interesting little conundrum. Originally, when we ended the last session, you guys had gone and done a little shopping, but Tiberius and Varius had branched away from the group after having a bit of a spat. They wound up in the Underworks, which is a very stupid thing to do. I will say that right now, but you guys were
Yeah, various.
Oh my god. And you wound up running afoul of a few voids, but were eventually chased off in a bit of fear because they had no idea who the second very loud rabbit was. But all before
Yeah,
you were
various.
found by a very peculiar being that you would remember as Dias, the eccentric shopkeeper that sells cursed items. During off the clock, he took you back to his shop and willingly let you in, but Varius was having none of it and decided to basically run away.
He
Tiberius,
didn't run away. He just walked away.
oh yeah, well, run away as in a case of you moved away from him, as in you fled from the situation, but you didn't actually run. But after that, you guys started kind of having your own little character moments. So these moments are available in the Word document, I believe. Yes, and
Yeah.
it'd be better for the viewers to read that at their own leisure. But basically, what has happened is that the group split up. You had Frias with the rabbits, so it was Frias, Tibbs, and Varius, and then Flix was with Rose, if I believe correctly. You originally were kind of doing your own thing until you began to realize that suddenly everything had gone quiet. The world around you had become vacant. There was no shopkeepers, no noise, not even the wind was blowing. And after a lot of panic, you were able to find each other, and now the group is back together. But as you basically brought the group back together, you began to hear a bizarre tune on the wind. It sounded almost like, well, what most would put it as is circus music. It's very faint, and you can't tell what direction it's coming from. What do you mean you're not trying to and bound to bad commands? What the fuck is going on with them?
Well, you did say we're starting to play the circus music, so
Trying to get it to play. There it is. Now the thing is you don't know exactly where this is coming from. It seems to be coming from every single direction of your hearing, but it is around you. What do? You are still alone. There is no one around you, no shopkeepers, no guards. It's almost as if time itself is frozen. The shadows themselves look to be almost darkened, darker than they should be, even writhing in a way if you look at them for too long.
I believe Tiberius did call out a challenge to whomever was there, but they didn't reply, like the bunch of cowards they are.
Yeah.
Right now, Varius is a bit checked out. He's being carried by Belua and doesn't seem to be reacting to outside stimulus.
Mm-hmm. Flix, how are you taking all this?
Flix is kind of internally freaking out, being like, what the hell is going on? This don't sound good. I don't know if want.
Mm-hmm. Rose, how is he handling this?
Crossbow still out. Is basically in full on I am sick of this shit mode right now.
Now I want you all to remember you have yet to have a long rest. So, would you like to try to find the sound, or what do you plan to do? Not only that, but as you look toward the portal to wind, you notice that the once shimmering expanse that shows the sort of the visage of wind that's on the other side, like the floating islands, is completely and utterly black. not only that, but go ahead and roll me a perception, all of you.
Well, let's see if this is going to be a good game or not.
Wow. Oh,
I
okay.
don't know why it was
Okay.
advantage.
Oh,
All right.
well, mine's +5, so
Mhm.
18.
Gonna do Bella's.
Mhm.
Sorry, mine popped in.
It's okay. You're fine. Okay. You all pass the chuck rather easily. This is not hard to see, but you notice that the shadows that seem to be writhing in the corners of the alleyways and sort of like the other kind of shaded areas are growing. So what had seemed to be kind of off to the side in the bit has begun getting darker. So doorways, archways, and stuff like that seem to be getting even darker than before, to a point where it almost feels like if it continues, it might try to swallow you.
Where is the light not going dark?
Basically, as you look away from the portal to wind toward the inner ring of the Foundry, you can see it's not as dark over there.
Right, well, I suggest that we all avoid the deathly shadows and head towards the light area, because that's obviously where we have to go so we don't die. Unless you want to die.
You
I
know
don't
what?
want to die.
You know, it's funny. Usually, walking into the light means the exact opposite.
Really? Is that
But
a religious thing? Because for us, it's the darkness. Anyway, dwarves, come on. Someone please pick up Various. There you are. Faster.
He's already carrying him.
Yes, but Tiberius has now told him to do it, so now it's okay.
Guess we're following Tiberius now.
hmm
As you
I
guys
mean-
as you guys begin to head out of the Wind District, you do notice that the inner ring of the Foundry still has these shadows, though they're not as prevalent or as thick. In fact, as you pass through the archway that kind of separates the inner ring from the Plain of Wind's little district, these shadows completely, almost create a wall right behind you as it swallows up the district.
Well, that was good. Who suggested we go this way anyhow?
Do you look at the barrier by chance?
Maybe.
Okay. For anyone that does look back at the barrier as it kind of swallows up the Wind District, you notice that in the depths of it, you can see multitudes of eyes. They're faint, but they're there.
Friend of yours, Furious?
She looks back at it and looks forward and she's already been done with everything, so she just shakes her head and keeps following.
Yep, not even once, just straight as an arrow.
And Tibbs, you are the one leading the group.
Of course. I
Give
mean,
me a perception, please.
oh no, you are.
Oh,
all...
yes. Okay, thankfully it's not a very high check. As you're kind of leading everyone around, you're kind of searching for a place where a lot of these shadows are not kind of clinging to everything. And almost every doorway and archway you seem to see is kind of writhing with these shadows. Until you reach what seems to be an alleyway between two of the shop's buildings that does not seem to actually have these shadows. In fact, instead there's a red light coming from it. And even more so, the sound is louder now.
Out of character. Red lights mean good, right?
Nah, somebody's developing film. It's okay.
Well, what do you think, all? Go towards the light and the sound, or stay for the shadows to consume us?
Also, for the fact that as you kind of look at this entryway, Tips, you realize that it's between Diaz's shop and another shop that you've never been to.
Of course it is! Of course it is! Tiberius is going to shoot a death glare at Various. Could have avoided all this had you just accepted the offer.
Various, like, You can't really see him. He's literally being cradled in one arm, and Belua has the other arm over him.
Yes, he's still going to blame Various for this.
We'd be disappointed
Well,
if you didn't.
We can't hear you, Flex.
You can't hear you, Flex.
All right, we'd be disappointed if you didn't.
Right, well, I don't know about you all, but I'm going towards the light and not the shadowy death of tendrils and eyes.
Does Phrase get a stealth bonus because the red light is red?
I mean, if you want to.
No, I'm joking.
Tiberius is going to call out, "Oi, Diaz!"
Who the hell is Diaz?
You hear nothing.
Come now. I know it's you.
Still nothing.
He's going to start padding forward and is becoming more belligerent as he's walking, saying, "No need to be quiet. It's very obvious because we snubbed your invitation. You're doing this, so please come out and talk to us."
So where are you right now? Like, are you going toward the red light, or are
Oh
you
yes,
standing
right down
beside
the
it?
alleyway. Right down
God
Murder
damn
Alley.
it.
Right down Murder Alley.
How far do you go in, and is
Yes.
anyone following you?
The answer on how far I'm going in is yes. On the people following me, I don't know.
That's why I'm asking it.
Yes.
Okay, so Flex is following. Who else is following?
Phrase is gonna stay cautionally in the middle.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Rose?
What did you do?
Okay. Flex, where are you? I need a marching order.
I'm behind Various Tiberius asking, what the hell did you do?
Okay. And as you begin sort of walking into this red light, it actually becomes quite overwhelming to the point that's all you kind of see in front of you. And even looking back, it's almost as if everything's gone dark. And as you continue moving forward, you notice that the well-paved walkway that you had been on before has now turned almost into dirt, like compacted gravel and dirt. And there's a heavy scent of incense on the air, kind of like a burning wood that's mixed with a floral scent. It's very strange and unique. More so, as you begin to walk down the alleyway, the walls change. No longer are they the stone walls of the sort of, I'm hearing myself.
Oh.
Thank you. But no longer are they the stone walls of the two alleyways that were between the two shops. They seem to be made out of a twisted, warped, blackened wood. And as you begin to move further into this lit area, it actually begins to go dark as you begin to actually see your surroundings a bit more. It's more of a dim light now, but you can definitely tell that the light is coming from these almost black and red candles that are hung on posts along the side of the walkway you're currently on. And it seems to go in quite deep. In fact, I'm going to switch you to a new background.
Ooh, pretty.
Hmm.
The music is actually quite prominent here, and it seems to get louder the further in you go. But it's not blasting your ears. It's kind of, it started on the back of your hearing, but now it's more at the forefront, but not super loud that you have to talk really loud to talk over. But it definitely seems to lead down a path going forward. And every time you look back, it's almost as if it gets darker, like it's preventing your escape.
Is there any people that could be seen? Or animals or anything?
No, it's just a tunnel. But however, since you mentioned that, there is chatter on the back of your subconscious, almost as if it's a crowd. It's very faint, but it's there. Almost as if they're talking in hushed whispers, in a way.
Avoiding the shadows, still moving forward.
Alright. Eventually, the hallway kind of opens up into what looks to be a large circular arena that seems to be underneath a large red and striped tent. You see large poles that are made from the same twisted, warped wood, kind of holding the entire structure up with ropes and all kinds of things dangling from them, and it looks familiar. Like it's a familiar sight to possibly some that would liken it to a circus tent, or at least the main arena of one. It's well lit with the same kind of bloody red light in a way, but it's at the same time feels difficult to look through. It's almost undescribable. It's like the light itself is trying to hide the true nature of everything around you. Tibbs, you don't see much else besides what everyone else sees. Nothing here seems to be arcane. It seems to be something outside of your knowledge.
Oh, good.
Oh, very cheek.
Rose, I imagine you know something about this?
About as much as you do right now.
Oh, right. DM talking with Amadeus. Would Freyas know anything?
No,
Okay, just make sure.
not at all.
Right,
You do
Okay.
remember him mentioning that there are some individuals of the plains that are beyond even his knowledge, and that you should be wary of them. That is all he told you.
Right, so we're all in the dock on this. We have no idea what's going on, and we have absolutely no way of getting out of here, correct?
That would be correct, Mr. Tiberius. You hear a voice in the darkness.
Ah! And here is the maitre d' of this entire endeavor?
You see from the rafters a figure moving along what seems to be one of the larger beams. As you see one of the lights that are kind of held up almost turn and illuminate the figure. The figure is wearing a very, I would say, gaudy outfit of blue that seems to be constantly in motion, with various gold accents as well as a dark gray in some areas, almost like a coat. The hat on his head is way too large and probably over-exaggerated in many ways, as well as a white cravat, and oddly enough, he's wearing heels. It's a very bizarre entity, but they seem to be looking down at you from one of these rafters. It's like, the Hollow Knight vibes are real. Yeah. Some inspiration was taken from Hollow Knight, thank you very much. Yes, suffice to say, we have been adamantly awaiting your arrival, considering the fact that you've made quite a name for all of yourselves lately.
I'm sorry, who's we?
Why, myself and my associates.
Quite vague on the answer there, but that's all right. I understand someone wanted to stay in the shadows, such as you are doing.
Well, hardly one to stay in the shadows when the light shines on me.
Figuratively.
After all, you've already met one of my associates and decided to run from his gracious invitation.
Various.
Thus, I have decided to take it into my own hands.
What did you do?
It wasn't me, it was Various this time. I swear it on my mother's grave.
I still think it was you.
You can think it all you want, it wasn't me.
Okay, then why didn't you stop him?
I tried, but he went into the place that we couldn't see
What?
anything.
Did you lose words?
Of course, heavens no.
Then what happened?
He went into the darkness too quickly because he shot me with magic!
Hey,
Various or the other one?
you two, can it? Maybe?
Yes, we're in the presence of someone who's talking to us and might be able to get us out of here, so try and act civil, Flix, for once.
This coming from you.
I am the king of civility.
As your question for if there's any wild magic here, no.
So, pardon my friends from interrupting our dialogue, good sir. It's hard to tell with your kind.
As you look back up to talk to this individual, Tiberius, he's gone.
Oh, now look what you may do, Flix. He's gone.
And all of you see this, not you, Tibbs. But you feel hands, gloved hands, rest on your shoulder, Tiberius, as you feel something lean next to your ear. It's like, I'm right here.
Ah! Ow.
Being this close, you definitely can kind of turn your eyes back and see that is a very large maw full of very, very sharp teeth. And the being is also wearing a nice little pair of spectacles that have a kind of little gold chain dangling from it, and you notice that his hair is also white. And he has very striking gold eyes.
Oh, just like back home.
If I wasn't tired, I'd be somewhat terrified, but now I'm just curious. What are we doing here?
Well, I've brought you here. Simple enough. It's not difficult. Though, pay in mind keeping you here for too long might wane a little bit on your psyche, but I don't think that's much of a problem since there's not much of it to be had. He kind of pats you on the head.
Ouch!
That is not a very nice thing to say about Flix, sir.
Hey! Only half true.
We've got Various here who's catatonic, yourself who's had some kind of mental breakdown, Rose who's questioning his own identity due to the fact of the whole Fae thing, and Freyas kind of just looks at Freyas. Freyas is fine. Everything's fine here.
Various. I know you're being associative at the moment, but you definitely feel like there's something pulling you from that state because there's almost whispers in the back of your head. These are not pride. These are something else that seem to be chattering and unknowing, maddening sort of gibberish. And it seems to be trying to clog your thoughts. Or at least it seems to be drawn to it. Even so, the being kind of lets go of you, Tibbs, and once again gives you a nice little pat on the head. He ruffles and messes with your ears a little bit. It's like, adorable. Now, as I'm sure you all are probably asking, why are you here? Why have we brought you here? And just
Why are we here?
I was getting to that. He kind of just looks at you, flicks with a... He still has a smile on his face, but you have that unsettling feeling that it was more malicious intent with the interruption. It's a bizarre feeling, almost as if some sort of cold shiver has come down on your shoulders, just from the look he's giving you alone.
I don't like this place. I don't like the way that guy's looking at me.
Did Diaz take my comment about entertaining a little too literally? Is that what's going on here?
Not entirely. Suffice to say,
so you
considering
are
the fact I am acting on my own volition, but at the same time, I am acting in the accordance to the interests of me and my own. You see, we have a great stake in this place, the plains, you call them. And we would like to see so that it continues operation. And for that to happen, a few things have to be done, as you most likely know.
What are you?
He seems to ignore your question.
God damn it.
So...
In fact, Flix, considering you are a Fae and you tend to be an outer realm creature, give me a Arcana check.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh, good. We're relying on Flix to memorize something from his academic
Oh,
days.
my
Oh,
God.
son of a bitch! Oh, Jesus!
Flix, as you kind of see him subvert your knowledge, you begin to kind of sit there and stare at this individual. You start kind of piecing things together. It's like the strange, almost displacement that you've gone through, the strange whispers at the edge of your mind, the way this figure seems to talk in various candors of we and us. You get a pit forming in your stomach. You've heard about these creatures. You don't necessarily know a lot about them, but you've heard about them. These things come from beyond the stars. These things are elder beings. They are not to be fucked with.
Alright.
So
First things first, I grab Tiberius' mouth and shut him up. And I motioned to Rose, come here. Just come here.
Rose hurries
Uh,
over.
Various as you kind of stir, you begin to kind of see a little bit as the entity begins to approach you and Belua.
And I'm going to let Rose know what I have deduced from this, that we're dealing with eldritch beings that are not to be effed with.
Mm-hmm. You do know, Rose, that for the most part, the eldritch entities are allies of primordials, but you still know not to quite trust them, considering the fact they tend to have their own goals and motives that don't always align with everyone else's.
Of course.
But
You sound so tired. Just like, yep, this is how it pans
This
out.
is me channeling pure Rose at this point.
Figures.
He's just like, well, we're all gonna die. Again.
But even so, the being actually approaches you, Various, both you and Belua, and kind of almost reaches a hand out to kind of try to tip your chin up. Does Belua react at all?
Probably going to snarl, baring their teeth. And Various is trying to cover their head.
He actually seems to just grin at Belua, not phased at all. And he continues to do so as he kind of puts 2 fingers, his index and middle finger, under Various's chin to try to tilt his head up a little bit. They only cry out to feed on the darkness and the shadows of your mind, little Various. You continue to ignore them and it'll only be made worse. That is the nature of the realm I have pulled you into. What gnaws at your subconscious is what we like to call nightmares. Creatures of the subconscious, and they're made very, very real here.
Why?
Why, you ask? Because your lovely little friends decided to say no to a very generous invitation from one of my own. Simple
I
enough.
throw the deathiest looking glare at both Tiberius and Various. Because I'm scared. And I'm a freaking fae.
Tiberius is also being angry eyebrows right now.
Frias, you do know a little bit about elder beings. The only thing you really can link any of this to are aberrations. So you may want to try applying some knowledge that you have from aberrations to the situation.
Some what?
Aberrations. You actually begin to link together that these things are a lot like the aberrations you've dealt with before. Things
My
that are
brain
from
is-
the outside.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So this seems to be a completely different level from what you may have dealt with on the mortal planes. Regardless, Diaz originally wanted to invite all of you in for a nice, polite chat. And since you so vehemently declined it, I have decided to force a meeting.
I squeeze tighter.
Wakey, wakey, little Various. They won't leave you alone until you pull yourself from your own twisted nightmare. And he kind of takes his fingers away from Various's chin. And you kind of look towards Tiberius, hearing him
You
muffle.
might actually pray to that if you piss this thing off,
Oh, come now,
I'm
let
going to
the
make
little
any
rabbit
creature
talk.
you've been into in your past look like a freaking happy dream.
Oh, come now, go ahead and let the little one talk.
Have you released Tiberius's mouth yet?
Yes.
if you're trying to get Various to react, might I suggest you slap him once?
He kind of holds a hand up and waggles a finger. It's like, maybe that's the very thing that's caused him to enter the stupor. Have you thought about that?
I haven't slapped him at all. I'm telling you, it'll work.
This time.
Now, if you're able to get your little friend back to this realm of subconscious, then perhaps we might have something to talk about, because much like those you've worked with in the past, we have aid for you if you're willing to accept it. At a cost, of course.
We're trying to save the place that you have vested interest in, and there's a cost to it. This feels like a... What's the term I'm looking for?
Scam?
Yes, thank you, Felix. A scam.
All
We're trying-
things have a cost.
I think you mean price.
Same thing. He
Yes,
once
but-
again throws that almost too calm look at you, Flix.
No, I'm like, yes,
You
but
told me
that's-
not to
but
piss it off, and look what you're doing right now.
It's in my nature!
Oh, perhaps you take your nature and calm it a little. Let the diplomats speak, Flix.
You're not a diplomat!
I am far more diplomatic than you are.
I'm an
Oh!
ambassador!
Oh.
You're just a floppy bunny from a rich family who didn't get what he wanted and now has a
Oh.
as his best friend.
I have no truth against him. Do it again. I bite Flix's fingers.
Ah, my fingers!
I'm just doing this right now in the OOC chat.
And you, Flix, wouldn't be able to diplomat your way out of a paper bag if it had been on your face. Oh, wait, it was, and still you couldn't figure it out. I have
In
to do it
fact,
my...
that's exactly what the being is doing. He's got that look on his face like, ooh, and kind of looking between Flix and Tiberius as if it's incredibly entertaining.
Tiberius is going to pat over to Various now. This is going to take all his tact.
Oh boy.
Vega, could you please put him down?
Belua lets out a low snarl.
Flix crosses
Yeah.
arms. Yes, please!
Belua,
Let us see the genius work.
thank you for calling me a genius, but please,
I was talking
I'm...
about various.
Does what I type happen before Tiberius, hopefully?
I think so, because it showed up before.
It should happen before Tiberius, yes. I'll pause on that if nothing happens with this.
Various is still sort of muttering. It becomes clear that there's some sniffling as well. He's not in good shape, and it's less that he's injured and more he's just not in a good place. But he gradually opens his eyes. It's pretty clear that he's been crying.
And you're met with a very alien scene there. Yes, this is not where you were before. And it's almost a stark contrast from the Foundry.
Various, step aside. I must speak to Various myself.
I have it handled. Back off.
You don't know him like I do.
It's starting to look like that's a better thing, not know him like you do.
Fine, go ahead. Speak to him. Hold on,
After
Mr.
you
Keeper.
say that, Flix, you actually hear what sounds like phantom voices going ooh through the audience, but the audience stands are empty.
Very well, Various. You know him so well. Bring him out of his stupor.
She actually will produce a cloth and try to wipe away some of the stuff and basically just trying to calm him down a little bit.
He looks very confused. But he has his eyes open and looks a little more aware than he did before.
Once he sees that Varys' eyes have opened, Varys can actually finally see the figure in blue and gold fully, and he seems to smile at him. It's like, "Good morning. My co-worker Dia sends his regards."
And if Belua will let, Phrase will try to help Various to their feet.
Giving him up, you say? Who's to say that was the intent in the first place?
It becomes
Go ahead.
clear Various is gripping one of his hands, specifically the one with a ring on it.
There's almost a bizarre knowing smile on the being's face. It's like, perhaps one might think that it was all intentional, little one.
Various is still just sort of not looking quite believing. He still looks very confused, a bit like he doesn't quite know where he is or what's going on. But
Perhaps it's finally time I introduce myself, since you are all now conscious and aware of your surroundings. You see the figure take the hat off and give a low, sweeping bow before standing back up and the hat being placed ever daintily on his head. I am Yogg Sothoth, the key in the gates, and one of the many rulers of the Outer Realms. I am an associate of Diaz, as you know him as, but as you would know, that's not his true name. And we have quite a little interest in your little group. You show promise to do something that will, to be fair, the denizens of this place don't seem to have the... Oh, what's the term for it?
Gall?
That's the term. The goal to face on their own. They're either too blind to their own issues or choose to willingly ignore it, hoping it just flies away before. And thus we've decided to take it into our own hands because, as you know, we have quite a stake in this place.
So you say, what exactly is your stake? What happens to you if the planes cease to exist?
What happens to all of reality, really?
That's literally what I'm asking.
He kind of motions with his hand. You kind of see him lower his sleeve a little bit. You see the gloved hand, you see dark skin under it all, but then in a flash you see that the entire arm from the elbow to the hand is gone as he snaps. Everything vanishes. And he pulls the sleeve back up, back down, and his hand's back. Everything is gone, if that's the case. You, me, reality itself. We know this most of all. After all, we alone are keeping a similar issue deep asleep. But that's our job, not yours. You have a different job. One that we are willing to help with, if you're so inclined.
Well, I do have a question. If you're so worried and so powerful, how come you don't do it? Take care of these things.
There are laws that we all have to obey, little Tiberius. Some we cannot overstep.
Ah, it's political. I understand that. Unlike some people, slow turn to flicks.
Political, universal, reality breaking, whatever suits your feeble mind's interpretation of it, yes. Regardless, we are offering you our aid. As we've kind of noticed just a tiny little bit that you seem to be having trouble with a weapon that is currently in the disposal of the guild. Am I correct?
Are we talking about an individual or an actual weapon at this point? Because yes, on both counts.
Well, I'm sure you've noticed that your spells are not working as they should. And it's been getting worse and worse. What if I said that we had a way to circumvent that? In fact, you of all people, Tiberius, would be able to see that there's something different about this place, wouldn't you say? Tiberius, in fact, you notice very vehemently, there's no wild magic here. At all. In fact, you feel as if you were able to cast a spell here, it would go off without any wild magic. At all.
What are... Spell it out for us, please, for us feeble-minded individuals.
Well, the little trick I've told basically pulled you into another sort of in-between of realms. A place
yes.
where their weapon doesn't quite reach.
Yes, some form of pocket dimension. I've seen these before. But why is the question?
It was the only way I was going to be able to talk to you, after all. I can't quite exist in the plains. I have a very important job, you see, to do. And it's easier to sort of slip between the folds to do what I need to do, such as now.
Ah, I see. And what exactly do you wish to partake in at this point? Because most of my companions, I believe, have had some kind of experience in the last little bit. Other than myself and Freyas are tired, exhausted, and possibly at the point of breaking. And you bring us to this location might not be assisting in their mental fortitude.
One would have to think that I would care about your mental fortitude.
I mean, that's a fair point.
The only thing I care about was getting a chance to talk. Since you so vehemently ignored us prior.
It wasn't me, it was Varys. He didn't want to speak. I was perfectly happy to go into that shop, but he had reservations.
You know,
Go ahead.
I can't help but think about the fact that you've been saying, Mr. Yogg, that you would have eyes everywhere, that you've been watching as they return.
Oh,
Your
not me.
well,
Not me.
fair enough. Your compatriots, as you say, that your collective knowledge then has been aware that we've spent the past day going through hell and back.
Mm-hmm.
And just now you decide to whisk us away for an emergency negotiation, so you'll have to excuse us if we're a little less receptive at the moment.
You always have had a fire behind you, haven't you, little Rose?
Yeah, that was a
You
pun.
immortal. He seems to know something about you, Rose.
Rose, you understand that this is a place in between realities. Perhaps we had to be exhausted to get here.
Partially. As you see, this realm isn't quite... how do I explain it? Okay, sorry. Someone was looking for cats. But he seems like it's like... Consider this place in between of places. A place that you tend to slip through rather quickly, in fact, before you go to sleep. It's that liminal gap between dream and reality. But at the same time, staying here also wears thin at your very mind. That's why you often see insomniacs become distressed, paranoid, because they tend to linger in this in-between for far too long.
With that being said, perhaps we want to get to the meat of the conversation and perhaps get out of here quicker than slower so we don't go insane if you need us to do something, Mr. Yarn.
No, that is indeed what it is. If you were not quivering with your fellows, Mr. Tiberius.
I was not quivering, they were quivering with me. That's beside the point. Let's continue.
You really are entertaining, as Diaz says. This pleases me. Regardless, as I said, we have decided to offer you our aid, as you are indeed having trouble with the weapon of the guilds. And we aim to do just that. But the question is are you willing to accept such aid? That is the bigger question. As you see, we don't like direct confrontation. We prefer pulling the strings and turning them against the users. He's almost looking at you expectingly.
Who's you? Which you? Which you?
Yes.
Yes. Here's the
Well,
thing. What we offer you is a means of turning the guild's own weapon against it, is what I am trying to say. Since you seem unkeen on my subtle clues, seems I need to be more brash with you lot. A shame.
And
The
what-
cost would be, because you keep mentioning cost, and what would the cost be? Because as far as I have learned through my extensive life, generally the cost is too expensive to have help from outsiders.
Is it truly too costly, considering the fact that we are on our own terms? Yes, it may paint a target on your back from many, as it's wont to be when you act against the accordance of what is considered the normal, but sometimes you must break the normal to fix the problem.
and just how exactly would this put a target on us?
How wouldn't it? Considering the fact that you'd be working with, well, let's say, an unknown force, to do something to the planes would, of course, set off many red flags to many of the lords, as you would know. They don't appreciate vigilantism, as you've come to understand.
Didn't you mention something about a Mataract looking at us? Wouldn't this be a little bit more of a guiding spell at this point if we were to accept that kind of assistance, Rose?
Sounds like maybe you should be a bit more subtle in your intentions. After all, from what I've learned, you were quite boastful at that little market that you went to. Quite boastful indeed.
I have no recollection of what you're speaking of.
We have eyes and ears in more places than the lords have want to believe.
Yet the entire plains are in peril, and you'd think that every possible entity would be willing to assist us of their own volition. But we are to keep mum on this entire ordeal?
That's why I'm here. I am here of my own volition. I am just warning you that accepting our aid has consequences, as do all things. You cannot expect to do something and not have something happen as a result. Cause and effect.
Oh, I'm quite aware of cause and effect. In fact, it's the entire purpose of my existence. But can you explain to me what would happen if we did accept your aid, and if we didn't accept your aid?
If you don't, well, you're on your own. to find your own aid elsewhere and we will continue on our path. If you do, you may very well be able to deal with the guild on your own terms, no longer being subjected to their whims, weapons, and perhaps even carry out some worthwhile revenge on that wonderful little sword wielder that you all seem to struggle against.
Define revenge exactly. I'm interested now.
Revenge is in the eye of the beholder, Tiberius. What is it to you?
Oh, I have quite an imagination, Mr. Yogg.
Indeed so. Revenge is a wide term, Tiberius. It can be death, it can be torment, it can be the everlasting imprisonment of one's soul and mind. It could be something as simple as stealing their lunch on a sunny day. It's all up to the wielder of it.
I'm sorry, are you literally referencing that time in the 3rd year of academia where I stole Varys' lunch and he didn't know about it?
He has a very wide smile on his face. I know many things, Tiberius. And I know something very peculiar about you as well. Your escape.
Go on.
Have you ever wondered who it is that helped you escape that day?
I always assumed it was my dashing good looks and Varys'...
There's far more to it than you believe. But that is not the escape I'm talking about. One when you were far, far younger.
Mm,
Did you ever wonder what happened? Did you ever wonder what happened to him, Mr. Tiberius? I do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can continue to deny it all you want, Mr. Tiberius, but eventually those old wounds will reopen and spill, as do all things. He has a very malicious tone in his voice.
As well, if we're trying to assist each other, perhaps threats wouldn't be the best of talking points.
I wasn't threatening you. I was offering you closure.
Closure, you say? Yes, quite. No. I think we'll I think we'll converse among ourselves for a few seconds before we decide whether or not we accept your wonderful assistance, Mr. Yod. He immediately turns to Rose. I don't trust him.
How about this? I will allow you a day to think on this. In that time, rest your minds, rest your souls, because if I keep you here any longer, well, you might very well fall into the very clutches of the things that live between the realms. We don't want that now, do we? As poor Varius has already heard their manic whisperings.
So we have a day to consider whether or not we get your assistance, not knowing exactly what the negative effects of taking it, but knowing that if we did take your assistance, the problems we've been having with casting spells could be mitigated in some sort. Is that exactly what you're saying?
Not mitigated, eliminated.
Tiberius is very, very visibly biting his lip at this point.
Have you ever pictured it, Tiberius, being able to cast your spells without that stranglehold upon your soul? I could make it happen. Very, very easily. However, I have indeed kept you all too long. Perhaps it is best to turn your eyes toward resting, recovering, perhaps finding a place for yourselves to settle down and actually be safe for once in this tumultuous time.
And where would that be exactly?
Seek and you shall find, Mr. Tiberius.
What say you? Flix? Rest for the night and decide on it on the next day?
Yes.
Roast? Freyas? Various.
I would be interested in it now, but yes, I guess this is a group effort.
Yeah, maybe we discuss this when we're not at each other's throats.
Then you know where to find me. Flix, what is your say on this?
Definitely you muted when you're speaking.
I can't hear her.
Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, I said yes.
Okay. Then you all know where to find me. And in almost a flash, everything seems to change around you. You're no longer in the circus area. You're back where you started. You're back in the Foundry, in the exact spot where you originally were displaced. In fact, as if none of that ever happened.
So does this mean that our group is split in two?
Yes.
In what way? Are they still in front of Diaz's shop, or is it...
No, Flix and Rose are still separated from the group, and Vrius is still with Tibbs and Various.
No, Various was with Rose and Flix.
Oh, okay. So basically, you were back to where you were right before you were pulled into that
noticed.
kind of side
Okay.
dimension.
So
Yes.
this is pre-magic missile friendly fire.
No.
No, this is after it.
Oh, right.
This
okay.
is like we were going to Wind to get your raptor and booze, and
Mm.
you guys were about to head to fire.
Right,
Mhm.
okay.
And you are basically back in those positions. Like, none of that just happened.
So I have to ask, did everyone else have that lucid dream that I just had?
Well,
And
you're
you're-
just with
Yeah.
Frius.
Yeah. So let's
Yeah.
go Frius and Tibbs first.
Freus?
Tiberius. It seems they are no longer here, but I agree. Whatever hallucination or event happened was definitely shared.
And then we'll go to Rose, Flix, and Various. It's almost as if you blinked and everything went back. No time seems to have passed at all, and people seem to be going about their usual days. Their shops are open, there's guards, people are walking down the streets. It's as if nothing happened.
Oh, I never thought night could sound so good.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lie down
Where?
somewhere.
Because as of right now, you guys don't really have a place to lay your head down.
Rose is going to look over to Various just to ascertain his faculties for a moment.
His eyes are open, but he looks out of it. He's still just sort of staring.
All right. Well, what do you say? Take two on seeing if the way is open to fire?
Sure.
Wherever we're safe, Freus.
Oh, I thought you wanted to go out drinking.
That was before the twisted, I don't know what to call it, carnival of nightmares and despair. I've had enough of that before drinking. Perhaps sleeping would be the best plan at this point, and drinking tomorrow.
Well, maybe our old friend Leonard still has those rooms for us. While we're on the way, what escape would they be talking about?
Are you asking me? Use talking in tongues. Why would I know?
She'll just give him a nice few pats on the back. Let's go see how Leonard's doing. And starts walking away if he doesn't follow.
He'll follow, looking back towards the darkness.
There's no darkness anymore. There's nothing there. It's as if nothing has
Fine.
happened.
He's still looking back toward the way they came. In his mind.
Mm-hmm. And you guys don't take long to find Frius, Ros, and Varius, as well as Belua, because they pretty much were discussing exactly what happened as well. So you three do see Frius and Tiberius coming into the fire district's kind of little area.
Ah, Rose, Flix, Various.
Yeah.
If I were to say the word Yogg, would you understand what I was talking about?
Yup.
Unfortunately, no too apparent.
Good. Rose, would you mind asking Leonard if we could perhaps use the... Is it a temple? Castle? The Fire Lord's estate
Yeah.
as a place to rest for the night?
Yeah, the castle. That was actually the original intention before that little trip to La La Land happened.
Is it actually called La La Land? That's a terrible name.
What's the portal look like?
Looks normal. Looks like it's perfectly functional right now. You see the typical red and orange hues kind of ebbing and flowing through the entirety of the portal. It looks perfectly normal.
Alright, well, it no longer looks like it's been splashed with tar. So let's get to it. Rose will lead on through.
After you, sir.
And nothing odd happens. In fact, it all is pretty similar. Hold on, I gotta make sure I have the right duplicate. I gotta make sure I have that image up, so give me a second to get that up. So I had to make room. Where is my fire map? This works.
Hopefully not on fire. Hey.
No. Hey. Okay. Map background. I did not expect you guys to head back to fire. But hey, here we go. Let me zoom out. That's the downside, is that Roll20 does have a limit on how much data I'm allowed to use. Okay, so... Let's move you guys over here. And let me switch the sound. So, play. For skip. And you're once again back in the plane of fire. Nothing's really changed here, except for the fact that, of course, there is no longer any feeling of overbearing wild magic here. Things seem to be perfectly normal, as is to be expected. You're currently passing through the portal into the main city area. And yeah, you're free to explore to your whims.
I want to lead the way towards Leonard.
So you're gonna just kind of head toward the lifts and straight to the castle?
That's where the baby is.
That's where the baby
Yes,
is.
that is true. Various would be very... we're all
That's also where
out,
Prism
yeah.
is.
Two babies.
Mm-hmm. So where's the group heading? What are you guys doing?
Tiberius is honestly following Rose so that everyone can get a good night's sleep because everyone's exhausted.
Rose is
Mhm.
beelining for the castle.
Okay. Flix, Various. What are you guys doing? Frius.
Oh, going to the castle.
Bella was carrying
been a day.
Various to the castle.
Frius.
To the castle. Sleeps.
And you guys make it to the castle without any real issue. No one's stopping you. Considering the fact that most of the people, by now at least, especially the guards, know who you are. And you've been given clearance to kind of just go to the castle as you please. Are you looking for something specific once you enter the castle foyer?
Rose will look to the guards or whoever's stationed there and
Mhm.
where is Leonard currently?
And they kind of just motion you down the main hallway toward the throne room.
10-4 on that. And we'll lead him there.
Okay. And as you enter the throne room, you see a very normal sight. Leonard's kind of just on the Fire Lord's throne, but since it's too large for him, he's kind of sat kind of sideways with his legs kicked up on like the arms of it and kind of leaned back, and he's, no surprise, reading.
Nerd.
He doesn't notice you come in, though. He seems rather engrossed in what he's reading.
Is it a romance novel?
You don't know. You're not close enough to see.
The answer is yes. The Fire and the Flame, it's called.
You know what? That's canon now. That's what he's reading. In fact, as you get closer, you notice his hair is a little brighter than normal, and he definitely seems engrossed in the book.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Phrase is politely waiting.
But yeah, you're all kind of just watching him. He definitely seems very, very, very engrossed in this book. He hasn't noticed you at all.
Leonard.
You see him jump and fumble the book around a little bit before quickly catching it, closing it, and stuffing it into the couch cushions of the throne. As he kind of straightens himself up and to sit properly on the throne instead of looking all reclined on it. You're back. Pleasure.
We need a place to crash.
Oh. That might be a tad bit of a problem. You see, something's happened at Auntie's Tavern, and I've had to rent out the rooms to people that were originally staying there, considering that they currently have the entire place on lockdown.
Let me guess.
On lockdown? Why?
I'm going to guess Fae things.
Oh. He kind of looks at Flix and frowns. It's like, your mentor lost his mind.
What? What
He
do you mean he lost his mind?
He's doing better now, but he had a lapse in his sanity and attacked people.
Okay, where is he? I'm going.
We've had no, he's having no business right now, Mr. Flix. Auntie's orders. No visitors.
Yeah, I'm going.
And you cannot see him right now.
Well, I need to.
He's too dangerous.
I need to make sure he's okay.
He'll be fine.
You don't know that.
This has happened before, Flix. You need to let him have a space to recollect his mind.
And what happens if he doesn't?
I don't know.
Flix, you're obviously tired. Perhaps getting rest and then speaking to your mentor after they've had their rest is in your best intentions at this point.
But suffice to say, I don't have rooms for you at the moment.
What's his husband's name again?
It's
Jericho's husband.
Florence.
Is Florence with him?
Yes, considering the fact that they are both connected, they both lost their sanity and struck out at people.
Oh, I leave.
Oh, you're just gonna turn and leave?
Yep. I'm going to Auntie's.
Okay. What is
Freya will follow, like, okay, what? No, okay, Rosa's got the children. Bye.
Right, you have no place for us to stay. I believe I will find my own accoutrements for tonight.
I could recommend a place to stay, but it's temporary, but perhaps it might be, I mean, I know a few ways for you to get your own place, but it will take
As Flix is leaving, I'm just going to yell out, come back to the throne room tomorrow around... When does your dawn come, exactly?
He kind of looks to a clock on the wall, like an old grandfather-style clock. 12 hours? Oh.
Come back to the throne room in 12 hours, Flix, then we'll reconvene.
I just wave a hand and keep walking.
Is anyone gonna stop him?
No.
Phrase is following, not stopping, though.
Okay. So we'll focus on you two, unless anyone else is following.
Tiberius is going to rest.
Where?
Oh, you got the DM, Nova. You know where.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Bella
But,
is gonna also repeat egg.
And Leonard's. So we'll get to that, Jen.
Oh.
You will need to play Kip. Because someone's guarding that door. But, first, Leonard's gonna look at Belua. It's like, what? Oh, yes, Various egg. It's, okay. Is it just gonna be you two following me? Because we need to keep this room a little secret. Considering what else it's holding.
Bella looks at the others. If there is anybody left.
Yeah, who is following Flix and who's staying behind? I need to know this.
Rose is following.
Rose is still staying over by Belua and Various.
And Tibbs, you're going off on your own?
I already have a place to sleep for the night. What are you talking about?
Okay. So we got 3 different groups. Great! So let's focus on Flix and Freya's first. Flix, where are you going?
I'm going to Auntie's.
How? How are you going? Which path are you taking?
The quickest one?
So you're going to try to take the door that the positives tend to use.
I guess, yeah.
As you go into the hallway that you know the door is in, you notice that the door has been blocked off. Not so much that it's being boarded up or anything, but there is a guard standing in front of it. One of Leonard's angelic guards. Full armor, everything. And he's blocking the door.
I need to get in there.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
The guard just kind of stares at you. It's like, no, you don't. It's too dangerous.
Yes, I do.
Do you have clearance?
I am an ambassador, and that is my mentor of ambassading.
I have been given specific instructions to not let anyone through this door unless given Leonard's or Auntie's say so.
Leonard said so.
Show me proof. If he said so and gave you permission, then show me the permit.
I prestidigitate a fake
Permit?
permit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did you just pull a Doctor Who?
Considering the fact that you have no idea what it looks like, roll me deception at disadvantage.
I'm fire elemental. I'm the stupidest idiot ever.
Leonard said yes. It's
Yeah.
just written on a piece of paper.
I'm picturing the I do what I want paper.
Roll your deception.
Is deception? Okay.
Yeah, you have to do it at disadvantage.
Deception at disadvantage. Because you have no idea what the permit looks like.
Thank you.
No, the guard just looks at you with a kind of a raised brow and then shakes his head. It's like, nice try. That's not what the permit looks like. Now please leave. It's too dangerous to go past this point.
And why is it too dangerous to go past this point?
Frace will put a hand on Flix's shoulder and be like, you know, he gave it to me. Just stand over by the door and I will get it and I will show it. And she will actually start rummaging through her pack and, well, basically she's wasting time.
The guard's just watching you. They're not moving. Like, they are back to back with the door.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got this. There's 2 of them?
Huh?
Or 1 guard?
Just one really big guard.
Hold person.
That is a wisdom saving throw. So what is your spell save is 16? So
16,
the guard
yeah.
is... And fire, is it fire that has the bonus? Let me double check something. Now, just so you know, the whole person holds the person in place, so you'd still have to find a way to push a giant armored guard out of the way.
Oh, I'm just gonna go underneath his
Already
legs.
figured out.
Oh, lordy.
Oh boy. You can't blame Tiberius for this. I'm just saying that.
Oh,
There's no way
lordy.
you can blame Tiberius for this.
Not this time.
He fails!
Oh, son of a beef!
So,
Right.
yeah, are you sure you want to do this? I'm just asking.
Oh yeah, I'm holding person. I gotta get to Jericho. It's a matter of life and death or sanity.
I'm so sorry for what's about to happen.
This is a
Yeah,
terrible...
you hold person. Let me just read the spell again. The moment you do, the guard screams and sounds an alarm.
Alright,
And
I'm really thin and wiry, so I slip past and run.
He's pushing against the door. And against better judgment, Freys will try to help move him with you.
how? How do you want to do that? Please explain to
Tipping
me.
him over.
Oh, lordy. So yeah, the guard does cry out an alarm, and you tip him over, kind of like a 2x4, like tung, 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 tung. And how are you going to open the door? Are you going to try to shove it open? Are you going to try to bust it open? How are you opening it?
I turn
Because-
the handle.
It's locked.
I'm
That
just
is
gonna-
a locked door.
Fine, I fucking stabbed the door.
Roll to attack.
Do I just click rapier, hon?
Yeah, that hits. You stab a door, literally. You just run your rapier through the door.
Well, the plan is to like cut the locking mechanism out.
It's gonna take. Oh, I need to look up the AC of the lock.
Also, are you still at a disadvantage?
No, that was just for the thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I hope I'm not disadvantaged against a door. Or I got some serious fallout problem.
Really? An iron lock only has 19 AC. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, you stab it through the lock and you just hear it shatter.
Hold on,
And
lock. Kick open the door and run!
so you can't run very far, as the moment you kick open the door, you are met with a bramble of thorny vines all over the place, as if
I've
they're
got a
strangling.
rapier.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna cut through them.
So I'm not gonna have you
Oh,
roll an
boy.
attack for this, because as you move to cut the thorny vines,
I'm
they
going to sneak and
recoil.
do this. I'm gonna go save the prince.
They recoil and try to grab you. Give me a dex save.
On a scale from 1 to, I don't know, Tiberius, how screwed are we at this point?
Tiberius!
Tiberius! We are so Tiberius!
The vines, as you try to dodge the vines, realizing that they're trying to grab you, your hands, your legs, even your throat gets coiled by these thorny vines as they begin to try to strangle you. Give me a con save. And
Oh,
Prius,
boy.
you are seeing all this happen in rapid succession. What are you doing? You manage to keep your consciousness as this thing begins to try to strangle you and prevent you from breathing. As the thorny vines are trying to pull you into this writhing mass that the room has become.
Established dominance! Established dominance!
Oh, right. The only... Okay, this is stupid as hell, but...
Oh, no,
Freys will
really.
become a bear.
Oh boy.
And by the way, people who have not left the palace have now heard the raised alarm as several guards began rushing toward the location.
I mean, Tiberius
Oh.
thinks this is perfect, so...
Oh hell, what now?
So now there's a bear, and I am going to attack the vines, trying to cut...
That's what's happening, Jin. Yeah. So, in your moment of panic, Flix, you've realized that not only did Jericho lose his mind and attack people, he opened a gateway to the hedge, and it's overtaken the tavern.
Oh, you idiot.
So, yeah, roll to attack the vines.
My clothes.
Which vines are you attacking? The ones holding Flix, trying to pull him in, or?
The one's trying to pull him in, because it's like, oh, that came from the doorway. Yeah, that was probably stupid.
Roll an attack.
Multi-attack, so
Spell
I guess I'll
magic
just...
doesn't work.
It doesn't
I'll
work
just-
on his spell? I can't dispel what he did?
For your hold person, you just gotta cancel it because it's a concentration.
No, I mean to dispel the hedge.
Oh, hell no.
I can't dispel his thing that he opened?
The hedge is a place, not
No,
a
but I
spell.
can't dispel the portal that he's opened to
It's
it.
nowhere close to where you're at. This thing has overtaken the whole tavern.
You're at the edge right now, being pulled in by the brambles that want to eat you.
Okay. God damn
And
it, Jericho.
yeah, that hits. That hits. I'm not gonna have you roll damage because you just see this bear charge in, Flicks, and body slam the thorns. You will take damage from hitting the thorns, so it's a 1d4. You take 2 points of the damage from the thorns as you kind of slice into these to free Flicks, and he is freed.
And then instantly ramming to get the door closed.
With you inside?
Oh, I thought we were still on the outside. I didn't run
it
through.
pulled-
Oh no.
Flicks ran in.
Oh. Well, then grabbing Flicks and trying to run out.
Only now did Freyas
Does-
realize the tragedy of their mistake.
Does Flicks fight back against being pulled away?
Oh yeah, no, Flix is going forward.
Strength checks, please. Contested strength.
God.
Oh, hey, it's
Whoa,
the same
terrible
exact,
this.
same exact as my regular. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you are
We're
unable to
both
fight as.
terrible at this.
Yeah, Frias basically grabs you in her big bear maw by the collar, the back of your coat, and pulls you out of the room.
No!
And the door slams behind you.
I have to save him!
And it's not the same guard that you had to have hold person that closed it. It's another guard who was staring daggers at both of you. In fact, there are now 6 guards plus the one that's
Well,
been held.
You guys were wondering where you're going to spend the night. The jail cell sounds like a wonderful place.
I left enemy some time in the dungeon.
You're not wrong. And yeah, are you going to be resisting arrest?
Hang on.
Freys is going to be holding Flicks for his arrest.
Go ahead, Flix. What are you going to say to get your shit out of this one?
I cast fear!
No! That is not what you say!
Oh, Jesus.
Is this gonna hit Frias too, since
I
technically
think
they're
so,
fighting
pretty
Frias?
God damn it!
Oh, it's a 30-foot cone. You have to choose. Are you choosing the guards or Freyas?
Yeah, it is a cone attack. You have to choose which direction. Brace is behind you.
And the guards are all around you, so you're only going to hit a few guards.
Yep, that's a terrible idea.
Oh, I thought it was, okay, never mind then. I won't cast fear.
Okay. But no, there's several guards. They're kind of surrounding you. You have one that currently closed the door. Another one's helping the paralyzed guard up. And then there's 4 others. 2 are at both sides of you, getting ready to grab you.
I'm a
Okay, I want to try diplomacy.
Roll persuasion at disadvantage.
Damn it! Every
Oh
time!
boy.
They know exactly what you've done, because why else would there be an alarm to be raised? Not only that, but they
Oh, that's a
Oh, no!
They saw the
I
whole
look at them
event
like some
take
leopard.
place. So yeah, no, the guards are not convinced, and yeah, they moved to grab both you and Frias.
Sorry
And,
for you.
and one of the guards basically says, "All right, you troublemakers, I think it's time for you to spend
And
some
I
time in a
kick the screen
jail
and being
cell."
dragged away.
You what?
I choose to not be, I choose not to, remain silent, and I kick and scream as I get dragged away.
She pulls the
You're
Ned
still being
Flanders.
held by a bear, though.
She chooses the Ned Flanders way. Would you like to go away quietly or kicking and screaming? Ooh, kicking and screaming, please.
So, are you going to prevent the guards from grabbing Flix and restraining him, Frias?
Nope.
So yeah, the guard. It takes 2 guards to grab Flix because he is kicking, screaming, and flailing. And then another one. looks
Freyas
at-
will.
Wait,
Freyas
can I
will
check
like.
one more thing?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I want to try to glitter the guards in the eye so I can escape.
No!
I want to
Glitter.
I feel like the video of "When will you learn your actions have consequences" plays up here.
Yes, it
See,
does.
what you're seeing is
So I
while
say,
you're playing cops.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
so
Yeah,
considering
boys.
the fact, okay, considering the fact that both of your hands are free before the guards try to grab you. I'm guessing that's when you want to throw the glitter
Yeah.
into your eyes.
I want
Go ahead
glitter bomb!
and- So like pocket sand. Just roll me a straight flat 1d20.
Just because if it wasn't Jericho, this would not be happening.
You didn't even ask where Jericho was.
No, I didn't.
You managed to get glitter into one guard's eyes, and he kind of goes but the second guard manages to avoid it and grabs hold of one of your arms.
No.
And then the other two guards that are next to Frias kind of look down at the bear. It's like, are you going to resist?
She literally turns back and offers hands if they want to shackle.
We'll just escort you down to the dungeons then. And then the other guard, then clearly considering the fact that they don't need to restrain you, one of the other guards goes to help restrain Flix.
I'm an ambassador.
And yeah, you all kind of hear Flix screaming as he is dragged down to the dungeons, and Frias is kind of just gently escorted down there.
Help! I'm being oppressed.
Oh no!
I imagine Rose, Varys, you probably haven't left quite yet. Same with you, Tibbs, and you can just hear that echoing through the castle.
Perfect.
Where's mine? Oh,
Thankfully, the
you know-
dungeons
no.
aren't too bad.
You know what? No, I'm not even going to question that. It's way too late for this shit.
Yeah, the dice definitely delivered on that, but yeah, for the night, you guys are going to be spending a nice, cozy time in a jail cell in the dungeons, kind of like the drunk tank, as some people call it, when they put drunk people in to kind of rest for the night so they can be released in the morning. That kind of thing.
I've had
They,
to pick
they
my-
think
pick my
that
brother from
Flix
that
is
area.
just intoxicated.
Yeah, because no one would be that stupid.
Yeah.
sure showed you.
And considering the fact that last time it's been known that he's been known to get drunk, that's probably what they assumed.
This isn't his first. He's got a fucking like. Sorry, the language. He's got like a multiple, stamp 6 times you get one free card at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my
But,
god, yes. He totally
But let me
does.
describe the jail cell has like a basic cot inside of it. You're actually put in 2 different cells. Considering Frias was polite and didn't resist while Flix did. But yeah, it's a pretty basic jail cell. There's a cot inside of it, and the ground looks almost like it's been cracked, and you can see lava running underneath it, so it's nice and toasty. There's no windows, sorry. So that's where you two will be spending the night. That's where you two are spending the night. So let's turn the camera over to Varius and Rose, who had literally just heard Flix screaming bloody murder through the halls.
I don't deserve this. I'm a good person.
Uh,
I just want to save my master.
anyways, Leonard, what was that you were saying about temporary abode?
He's kind of just staring off into the distance with his mouth slightly agape. It's like, that just happened.
Hunter just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because the thing is, this is a lord. He kind of is omnipotent in his plane, so he saw the whole ordeal, kind of.
It's
So he's
Leonard
just
just
going-
no, Flix, don't do. Oh,
Pretty much.
go with the man. Go
He
on,
was-
that's glitter.
He was Chippy's commentary. That's canon. But Leonard kind of snaps back to Brielle. It's like, yes, I've been keeping the egg hidden away along with another creature you've aided in a little bit of a, I would say, nursery type room for these kind of creatures. And he'll kind of look around, make sure no one's really following, and kind of lead them off to the side. In fact, he's leading him kind of behind the throne. And there is a slight gap in there, but you see him kind of wedge his fingers in between it, and literally pull the throne forward as you see a stairwell underneath it.
Huh.
This place has a lot of little doors and hidden places that, you know, the past lord tends to keep his bounty and the like, especially things closest to him, were prominently stored down below here. That tweet, god damn it, Flicks.
What?
I thought that was beautiful.
Tweet?
Yeah, look at tabletop.
Oh Jesus, why?
Not
I
even
mean,
once.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
But yeah, Leonard will kind of lead you down this little stairwell, and it doesn't go down too deep, but eventually you enter a large, like, circular room that obviously has been cleared out, but there's some still things left behind, like armor racks, weapon holsters, and frames and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's been refashioned, and there's like cushions everywhere, beds, like pet beds and stuff like that. And in the center of the room, you see a large, multicolored, white-skinned baby Tarask, kind of just sitting there sleeping, amass a bunch of pillows. And off to the side, in what looks to be a large pool of magma almost, surrounded by like hot rocks and stuff like that, is the egg. And it's just kind of chilling there in a nice little toasty environment. It's been taken out of its bag. The bag is kind of neatly folded to the side, but it's safe and sound. And Leonard kind of looked over. It's like, the holding bag is nice and all. It's enchanted to keep them warm, but they tend to hatch faster when in a warmer climate. So I kind of took the liberty of keeping it nice and warm for you, Mr. Various. I hope it's all
Belua
right.
slowly sets Various down, who sort of steps forward, still seems pretty out of it, but seems focused on the egg, and goes to sit next to it.
It's very, very toasty over near the egg. Prism is fast asleep. She's kind of has that little, you know, when dogs snore in their sleep? She's
Yeah.
doing that. Little.
We literally have a dog behind us whining for chips. So
And Leonard kind of looks at Various. It's like, do you wish to take it with you? I can put it back into its bag. I know it might be too hot to handle at the moment.
Yeah.
And kind
Yes.
Of, you see his face kind of show concern. It's like, Mr. Various, are you all right?
Yes. I'm fine.
I don't think you are, but I won't prod. It's probably not something for me to speak of with you. He moves to gently take the egg out of the lava, kind of easily dipping his hands in like it's water, and kind of lifts it up, and then we'll gently settle it back into the satchel and tie it up and make sure it's all nice and snug. It should have another day or so before it hatches, so congratulations, I guess. He kind of hands the bag back over with the egg.
Thank you. I suppose I offered a favor to the one I sent it to, but I guess that's transferred.
You don't owe me anything, Mr. Various. Just find a place to get some rest. There is a tavern close by to the Citadel that I can give a good word for you into if you want to stay there for the night.
That would be appreciated.
It's owned by the construction worker that you had met during your travels before. So
good.
I'll tell them to expect you.
And now Rose bites the bottom lip.
That sounds good. And he carefully adjusts the bag on his back. And
Rose, I believe you know the tavern in question. It's quite close to the castle.
Indeed.
It's called the Brimstone Rose.
How can I forget?
I'll send a message along to that he'll expect you and should have some rooms for you. As well as, well, considering your other two friends have gotten into a spot of trouble, it'll just be you two, I guess.
Well, 2 and the nods over to Belua.
All right, well, on your way, and I hope you do better, Mr. Various.
What are you up to, Tibbs?
Yeah, we're actually going to turn the
Oh.
camera to Tibbs now. Where are you?
Nothing. Oh, he's walking right back towards where they came from.
So you're heading back to the fire portal over to the Foundry.
Oh, yes.
Oh, right. Well, you don't have any issues getting to the portal or going through it. You're back in the Foundry.
Excellent. Right back to Dias's shop.
Oh, lordy. So let me get some sound. Hold on. Since we're shifting the camera on over, so let me get music. So let me switch us over to the shop.
None of you
And-
want the real threat. You fools, you fools.
So you begin to head up to the shop. Do you knock on the door? Do you just open it? What do you do?
Polite knock 3 times.
And after a few seconds, you hear, "Come in, door is open."
Push the door open.
And the shop's open. It's brightly lit. You can definitely see that more work has been done since you were last here. There's more displays open. There's more shelves up with various different trinkets all over the place, different weapons, different armors. And he's sitting at the front desk area, looking like he's going through some paperwork. But he does peer up at you and it's like, Mr. Tiberius, I've been wondering when you would approach again.
Honestly, you and I both know that that is a bit of a lie. You kind of put the worm on the hook a little bit too strong with your friend Yogg, Mr. Dias.
You have met Silva, I see. I would have you know that he tends to follow his own prerogative. It is not under my supervision that he does the things he does.
Perhaps not, but at the same time, you are allied with him, and therefore I must ask, do you know a way that I could speak to him directly?
Of course. He is a master of the worlds in between, you see. And
And
it's
that's
not
exactly
so
what I'm
much,
interested in.
it is not so much a case of you finding him, but him finding you.
Well, I believe that he and I have a mutual discussion that we must have at this point, so I'm sure he'll find me post-haste once he's aware that I'm waiting in your shop. Speaking of which, business has been good for you, hasn't it, sir?
Why, of course it has. There is always a market for items that I deal in, you see, either from the outside, people bringing things in, or bartering with those unknowing what they are getting into.
Yes, well, you and I both know that I'm quite well aware of what I'm getting into, so if you could, I'd really like to speak to this Yogg gentleman as soon as you can. Sir, please.
All you have to do, Mr. Tiberius, is close your eyes and he will find you.
Alright, but no funny stuff while I'm asleep. I know how long my ears are, and I know exactly where my nose exists, so we're fine with that, yes?
Of course. Why would I ever want to do something like that?
I don't know.
You have
just,
a distinct feeling that that's not the case.
I don't know.
Just from the tone.
Just one of those things that, as a Vermont, I'm not exactly keen on other people examining my corpse, shall we say, as I'm not in it.
Well, technically, you aren't going anywhere. Do you truly go places when you enter a dream-like state? Or is it real? Is it not? That is for you to decide.
What's
I believe you and I both know the true answer to that.
What's good?
Anyhow, close my eyes and 1, 2, 3. He keeps his eyes open for an extra second before closing them.
You just standing there with your eyes closed?
Yes.
Second.
Nothing happens.
2 more hours, right?
Hour and a half, big girl, hour and a half.
Flutter the eyes open. So, Diaz, it appears as though your friend has not gotten the invitation that I'm here.
It seems that you also seem to misunderstand where I am coming from, Mr. Tiberius. Perhaps it is best that you close and rest your eyes. One can often find intruders in the dreamscape, after all, where a being such as him resides.
What you're saying is you want me to fall asleep in your shop, is what you're saying. To lose
No.
consciousness.
Not here, perchance. I still have a business to run, and I do not need a person sleeping in the middle of my floor.
Yes. Is there a cot I can use then? Obviously, he wants to use me on sleep.
Not here, no.
Where would
If
you suggest I fall asleep, Mr. Diaz, in order to speak with your comrade, Mr. Yogg?
a bed like a normal person, perhaps?
There's a deadpan expression on Tiberius's face. Normal person. You want me, Tiberius Remington Vermont, to fall asleep like some plebeian on a bed?
I'm afraid, Mr. Tiberius, you don't seem to understand your position here. As far as we're aware, and as far as the denizens of this world are aware, you are just that. A plebeian, as you call it. Common folk, perhaps?
Mr. Diaz, I have destroyed 2 things that have been threatening your precious planes. I have allied myself with lords like
As
Leonard.
you were saying that, he is pulling himself over the desk and getting really close to your face.
Oh, he's going to continue because Tiberius is stupid.
Yeah, he's expecting you to continue.
I have done all of this, and I am farther from a plebeian than you could ever understand, sir.
And I am beyond even your basic understanding, Mr. Tiberius. Please make a will save.
Oh, Will, that's a
Or wisdom, sorry, wisdom. Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I'm stupid lucky on this one because I'm not an idiot. Oh god, this is my last lucky roll of the fucking long rest. Pardon the language. Oh, good. I'm so glad I used the lucky on that.
The moment he says that, Tibbs, you feel a pulsing pain in the back of your head, and it grows and grows as your vision is suddenly overwhelmed with this maw of eyes, teeth, writhing shadows, this pounding in your ears that sounds like methodical alien drums and flutes pounding in your ears over and over again. You see flashes of worlds being torn apart by large gaping maws and tendrils, things being swallowed into the darkness, and then in that instant you're brought back, looking straight into Diaz's eyes. You are overwhelmed with this guttural primal fear as you just stared into something that you should not have seen.
So, a bed you say?
Yes, Mr. Tiberius. It's not difficult to find. In fact, there's a tavern right next to here. I'm sure you may have passed by it once or twice.
Question. I think I'll go rest my ears for a bit.
A smart move, Mr. Tiberius. And he actually sets something into your hand. You don't realize he put something in there, but it looks to be a ruby.
I'm not going to question it. There's not a single question. Just slowly walk towards the door, backing up towards the door, keeping eyes directly on Diaz because terrified. But that'll pass as soon as the song takes over because Tiberius is stupid.
You see that there's eyes opening along the walls as you begin to leave.
Nah, my
Watching
perception's
you.
terrible. My perception's terrible. No, I do not see that. Just walking towards the door, backing up. Yep, that's great.
And you back up, and the moment you leave, do you slam the door? Do you close the door behind you?
Oh, quietly, yes.
You are now outside Diaz's shop.
Where's that inn that Diaz was mentioning? Because
Right next door.
I'm going right towards that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It is called. Let me just make up a random name. Because I have never thought of this one. This is a brand new name. It is called. You know what? Let's have some fun with it. Someone give me a tavern name.
Are we talking gem related?
Just spout out a name. Give me
The Yellow Robe.
Yellow Robe. Perfect. I'll take it.
What?
I will take it.
What?
Yeah, it is called the Yellow Robe.
Well, that is just on the nose, isn't it, Jim?
I'll take it. Perfect. I'll take it.
Is there a crown as their symbol? Is that what's going on here?
You can't discern a symbol. It just says
Of course I
Yellow
can't.
Robe in plain text over the door.
Is it a goat bartender? Just wondering.
Hold on.
No, being told hold on is worse, Nova. That's worse.
No, it's because my brother's asking for something. Anyway, sorry about that. But as you kind of the tavern actually looks quite nice. It's kind of a brick and mortar style building, which seems a little modern, which you're surprised to see. Still kind of shivering and shaking from that encounter, you open the door and find that it's actually incredibly clean and almost highbrow looking inside. There's actually several patrons in here, both primordial and outsider, and they seem to be enjoying very fine dining style meals and drinks. But you probably shouldn't ask what's in them, just saying. The bartender actually looks pretty normal. In fact, it looks like a normal human.
What's a human?
But she's very heavy set. Almost, she has kind of dark skin like Yogg does. She has very dark, curly black hair that kind of falls to her mid back and flows over her shoulders. She's a very heavy set lady, kind of in a.
Any extra eyes?
No.
Then we're good.
She looks very nice. She's a very attractive woman. She's wearing an apron with a black under long sleeve shirt that kind of has a turtleneck to it. And
hey, Shub.
Time out. You said attractive. How long are her ears?
You can't see any ears.
Well.
And her eyes, upon further inspection, look like goat eyes. Actually, they are gold, but they have the distinct look of goat's eyes.
Thanks, Noah. Yep, Tiberius is just going to ask for a room at this point because, yep, you know what? Yep.
In fact, as you approach the bar, she kind of leans over and's like, "Hey, sugar, what can I do for you?" She has a very homey voice almost, very motherly.
I'm looking for... Wait, what? Did you... No. Whoa. What kind of motherly? I have to confirm.
Kind and gentle.
Okay, different mother than what Tiberius is used to.
Yes, right. Very different. So her voice sounds like something that is soothing and calming.
I'm looking for a room to lay my weary ears so that I may rest.
Okay. Well, we've got a couple of rooms. Do you have anything to pay for it? Considering we do kind of take currency here.
I have pause.
Never.
She kind of
Slow-
gives you a look, a knowing look. It's like, I'm sure you're given something recently, perhaps.
Slow look down at the thing that was handed in his palms that he only now realizes is there, and just like holds it out.
And she gently takes it from him. Been waiting for this. Seems he decided to use you as a bit of an unwilling delivering boy, but yeah, sure, I'll give you one of my finest rooms.
I'm sorry, did you say use?
Ah, he's known to do that. He uses a lot of people. Old coot.
Oh, does he now?
Mm-hmm. She gives you a nice warm smile.
Excellent. I love being used.
Well, I'll give you my finest room. How does that sound, sugar?
Any less wouldn't be becoming of a Vermont, honestly.
Mm-hmm. You'll find it upstairs at the very end of the hall. Have
Excellent.
a nice night.
Might I ask your name, madam?
Well, you can just call me Mom for now. How's that?
Oh, I think I prefer a name.
Let's see. You can just call me Shub for now.
Shub. Oh, sweet Jesus.
I told you. I told you.
Sorry, that completely caught me off guard.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Shub, a wonderful name. Just thank you for your hospitality. Just been tired is all, and I pray that no one disturbs you during my sleep, even if it's a fop with long ears and golden hair and glitter everywhere. Don't let him know where I am, okay?
Your secret's safe with me. Have a nice night.
Thank you, ma'am. Wonderful night with you as well.
And you're gonna head up to the room.
Yep.
And the final room on at the end of the hallway up top, you open it up and is very nice. Like it is a 4-poster like canopy bed. There is a bathroom on its own side that has a marble tub and everything. Like this is some highbrow shit.
Okay, time out. Is there a full body mirror?
Yes.
Shit. Okay. Luxurious bath and then ritual sleep and then sleep. A
Mhm.
ritual before sleep and then sleep.
All right. Yeah. You are feeling hella refreshed. Like this place is nice. And there's even actually during your bath, you actually get a knock on the door.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you get a knock on the door.
Mage hand to open the door.
You hear shuffling in your room for a few seconds. You hear what sounds to be the clink of silverware before whoever it was leaves and closes the door.
Once the bath is done, because relaxation is important, Tiberius will check out what that clink of silverware was. I hope it's food, and the proper kind of food.
There is a table in the room, and it's all nice and set up like a tablecloth and silverware and a bottle of wine, and it is a full course meal. Like you got a salad, you got looks of it. It looks like it's all vegetables, especially roasted. Got a salad, you got some deliciously roasted vegetables on the plate. What looks to be basically instead of a steak, it's a grilled cauliflower. And it's got like mashed potatoes and all that kind of good stuff. Like this is someone knows you here.
And no various insight to poison test, right?
The stuff is silver. You can
Yeah,
tell.
I'm aware, but there's no person to poison test whether or not this. Again, Hopolition Society.
Nope, there's no one to push the poison onto. If it is,
Tiberius is
it
gonna
smells
take
good too.
Oh no, he's
Like
so
there's a cauliflower steak that's been drenched in the vegetarian gravy. There's roasted carrots and potatoes. There's fresh bread.
I'm gonna roll this at disadvantage. I'm sorry, I have to do this. Nom 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 nom.
Nothing's wrong with it. It's delicious.
Yeah, he's eating all. He's like, maybe there's poison. He's like, no, you know what?
Yeah, nothing's poisonous. It's delicious.
He'll eat and he'll fall asleep. Give me a second. I have to do a bio break. 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm. You can. That's what that ruby paid for. In fact, you actually do see a bell next to the door, and it's a ring for room service.
I won't need that right now. Just gonna eat and then put the ears to the bed and maybe skip on off the road so he has something to do.
So let's turn over to Rose and Various for a little bit as Tibbs has his pampering. You guys enter the Brimstone Rose, and it is a very rowdy tavern, a complete opposite of what Tibbs has dealt with. So it's kind of that rough and tumble tavern that you would expect in kind of like a more steampunk, westerny type town, as the fire plane tends to be. And there's fire primordials everywhere. There's people drinking. There's drinks that are on fire. There's drinks that are smoking. Some drinks that are actual smoke. And at the very front of the bar, there is a very familiar figure in the entity that is named Ott, the bandaged fire primordial that you had met previously. And he seems to be doing his usual thing. He's bartending. He's mixing drinks. He's getting orders out. What do you do? Let me actually find some tavern new sounds. Hold on. Where is it? I have a whole playlist of this shit. I gotta scroll through it. Nope. Oh god, where is it? Where's my tavern music? Nope. Here it is. Copy, because this one's a bit more rowdy. Okay. So what do you two do?
Rose is going to take a sigh and then look over to the proprietor. Yo.
Hey, let's see what's walked into me tavern. About time you two arrived. So, you're looking for a room, eh, old Leonard, since you?
That would indeed be the case.
Maybe you should look into having your own place for once, considering the fact that you lot seem to be getting around all over the place.
But you know, if you're not the first one to suggest that today.
I mean, I'm surprised you didn't have one, considering the fact that you're one of the Fire Lord's own disciples. You think you would have gone out and done that already.
Yeah, life's been chaotic lately.
Understandable.
Speaking of the reverence part, would you happen to have 2 to spare?
Leonard already sent word on ahead. It rides faster than you did. But, yeah, we got 2 rooms open and available for you, too.
Alright. Yeah, I think, my, friend here needs to hit the sack.
You both look like hell. You probably both should.
I would argue with you, but I've already had a helping your knuckle sandwich, so lesson learned.
Still feeling that, eh? Hey, ain't the first. You certainly probably won't be the last.
Okay.
But we reserved 2 rooms for you. First 2 on the right. He kind of motions down the hallway. There is not a second floor to this building, just the 1 floor.
Alright. Thank you much.
Hey.
And Rose will guide Various and Belluat to those rooms.
And they're pretty standard tavern rooms. It's got a bed, it's got a side table, it's got a little desk to work at, and it's got a window looking outside. It's pretty basic, but it's cozy.
Various nods faintly to Rose before stepping inside with Bella right behind them.
Rose will, right before Various enters, will put a hand on the Various' shoulder.
He slowly looks up. Yes?
You you need anything during the night? I'm next door. You know where to find me. All right.
I'll keep that in mind.
Get some sleep.
Right now, we will be taking our 15-minute break. So, get up, go to the bathroom, get some drinks, and when we come back, we're going to be revisiting Tiberius because he's going to have a visitor.
No, he's so stupid.
All right, take your break.
Here's Tiberius bellying up to the bar with the biggest.
Yeah, it's been 2
fucking
hours already. I was surprised. And I gotta go bathroom, so I will be right back.
Yeah.
I
Are we
really
still
hope
live?
no. Or